As more and more AI tools are hitting the market, more and more people are interested in using them to create content. But some people I know have asked me if Google is going to be penalizing AI content in search. Now, it's important to remember that when I talk about a penalty, I'm not referring to anything financial. There's no bill, there's no ticket that they're going to send you in the mail. A penalty from Google is when you've done something that goes against their best practices or their guidelines for good search, and you get moved down in the search engine results page, your ranking drops, or you get completely removed from search at all. You don't show up. Now, that's a pretty extreme case. That doesn't happen to a lot of people, although some people will find that their content doesn't rank as well because they're not following the best practices for doing so. And that's kind of where this comes in. Google isn't specifically penalizing AI content, but in the past year, they released multiple updates related to helpful content. They were really putting an emphasis in their search algorithm on promoting content that was super useful, super helpful, very actionable. So not straight sales, landing pages, marketing content. It can still be used for marketing. Like you can still have a blog post with a CTA asking people to sign up for your product at the end. But ultimately, the content really provides some sort of value. It truly answers a question. It's not a bait and switch with a plug to sign up for something. It truly answers a question. It provides value. It acts as a resource. It gives a walkthrough, things like that. It provides someone's opinion. These are all things that can count as helpful content. And right now, AI tools just aren't good at producing that content. Now, that may change in the future, but right now we're not there. And the reason for that is these AI tools, they've been trained on the internet as it existed largely before 2021. Some of them can pull from the internet as it stands right now, but either way, it's been trained on content that already exists, so it's not great at coming up with something new and unique with a real value add. It's essentially paraphrasing and regurgitating content and thoughts and ideas and topics that have already existed online previously. So you're not going to be delivering that much value with AI content. And so your chances of ranking in the top spot aren't quite as high as if you were to do it yourself or hire a human to write it for you. The second thing is that they're going to be rolling out something called perspectives, and that's going to be either a search filter or a tab like we have. Like if you go to Google now, you have images, video, shopping, news, etc. It might be something like that, but they're calling it perspectives. It's expected to be coming out in the near-ish future, and the perspectives filter will narrow the search results down to show you first-person experiences and input and advice. So it'll show you things like blog posts, Reddit threads, videos, things like that. And so if you want to appear in the perspectives tab, you're going to need to be producing content that is very first-person, relatable, sharing expertise, things like that. So for instance, on my blog, I post articles about things that I have done, I have tried, I am doing, and I share the reasons why. Now, of course, I do want people to ultimately, hire me and decide to work with me, but I'm writing this content to share my expertise and to illustrate my expertise, not specifically to plug the sale of a product or sign up for a newsletter or something like that. So that kind of content could show up in the perspectives tab. Meanwhile, also on my website, I of course have landing pages where I'm like, great, here are the services I offer, here's how much they cost, click here to sign up. Those aren't going to appear in the perspectives tab. Even though I wrote it, it's not talking about my experience, it's just talking about what I can do, what I'm selling, basically. And it wouldn't surprise me down the line if AI content is eventually penalized. And the reason goes back to the fact that it's trained on the internet. So AI is trained on the internet. If AI content is what's primarily going on the internet, then future iterations of the AI are trained on the previous AI's content. So it kind of becomes like an Ouroboros, which is that snake that eats its tail. Where does the cycle end? You've got old AI content feeding into new AIs, which are then creating updated versions of the older AI content. And it's just AI creating AI creating AI. So for right now, I would advise in staying away from writing content to using AI to write all of your content if you're concerned about SEO performance. I can certainly see using AI tools to aid in with caution in the research process. They make things up a lot, so really go into that with your eyes wide open. Certainly to help you organize your notes, to maybe help you generate an outline, to help you think of different words or ways to rephrase something. But the end product, the actual piece of content you're posting on your website, should be written by you or another human on your team or someone that you hire to do that. And ultimately, that's going to help you appear in more places in search because you could potentially appear in perspectives as well as regular search, as well as the AI chatbot responses, which I have another video on. And it's also just good best practices. Regardless of how AI search plays out, how AI content plays out, you're still going to be creating content that follows the good best practices that already exist. So you're going to be pretty solid from an SEO standpoint.